Okay, and welcome back to the second video. I suppose the one little thing that I forgot to write there, so I just tidied it up a bit, the little errors that I made. So the one little thing that I forgot to write is your key. Okay, now I know there's no exam going on, but if you forget the key in the test, you actually lose marks. So for example, let's take this one here, 3 and 2. So 3 slash or line 2 means equals 32. Okay, because the key explains everything. It means that the 3 and then this line and then the 2 means 32, or the 3 and then this line and the 4 is going to mean 34, and so on and so on. So the two questions that you're asked to find is the median and then compare the median and the range. Okay, so make sure that you've got that down, because I'm now about to cross everything out by finding the median. So again, we're just going to do the exact same as before. Okay, it's a long, it's a slow, it's a boring process, but it gets you the right answer. So I'm going to stick with it. So cross out the first one and the last one, the second one, the second last, the third one, third last, fourth, fourth last, fifth. Remember, when you get to your fifth last, you're going to come down here. Sixth, sixth last, seventh, seventh last, eighth, eighth last, ninth, ninth last, 10th, 10th last, 11th, and the 11th last. And luckily, I love it when this happens, we've got just one number there. So the dynamo, so let's just do D for dynamo, its median is equal to 37. So the number in the middle of all those numbers is going to be 37. And then we're going to do the E, which is for E plus, and we're going to figure out the median for that one as well. So again, it's the same thing. It's a boring question, but if you get it right, it's an easy question. So again, first, last, second, second last, third. Now my third last, I have to go all the way back here. Fourth, fourth last, fifth, fifth last, sixth, sixth last, seventh, seventh last, eighth, eighth last, ninth, ninth last, 10th, 10th last, 11th and 11th last, and we're left with one in the middle. Okay, so this is already some interesting piece of data. Okay, because looking at it, right, you'd probably be more likely, although you should never really touch energy drinks, they're disgusting, you'd probably be more likely to choose dynamo, because look, the tree and its leaves are quite the same as the tree and the leaves here. And it's for the energy levels where it's in 42, 42, 43, 44, 45, 47, whereas Energy Plus only has 40 and 41, and Dynamo also has 50, 52, 52, 53. But when we take the median of the two numbers, Energy Pluses is actually greater. So this is maybe where the range will really help us. So D for Dynamo and for range, so range is equal to the biggest number take away the smallest number. So 53 is the biggest number. I forgot my E for range. And I'm going to take away the smallest number, which is over here, which is 11. 53 take away 11 is going to leave me with 42. Energy Plus then, so the range, the biggest number for Energy Plus is this one here, 41. And we're going to take away the smallest number, which is 13. 41 take away 13 is going to give you, just went blank, 28. So it's actually a really surprising and interesting set of data. So it asks us to comment on it, right? Now, it's a very strange one, because looking at this, right, so if we use the data, the median and the range, it actually shows that Energy Plus is better, because the median is higher, so that means you're more likely to get a higher drink, but the range is smaller, so there's more consistency in their energy drinks. What's in it? Oh, sorry, it's batteries, not even energy drinks. So it actually looks like Energy Plus actually will last longer than Dynamo's. But looking at the data, you can see that Dynamo has a lot of stuff down here. And I think another thing that you'd need to find, I'm not going to bother finding it, is the mean. Because I think if we were to take the mean of Dynamo, it would be much bigger than Energy Plus. Okay? So I'll just like do a little comment box. So from the data, Energy Plus is more consistent because of the range and lasts longer. But I would just have a little note, however, if we found the mean, Dynamo would be the better battery. So maybe it's something that you might have in your spare time, okay? If we just compare, because the question only asks for the median and the ranges, it doesn't talk about anything else. From the median and the ranges, it actually looks like Energy Plus is better because Energy Plus's range is smaller and its median is higher. So it says that they're more consistent and it lasts longer. But if we were to find the mean, that's why I've just included this little comment just here. I think Dynamo would work out to be the better one. So that's where another example of sometimes it's difficult to choose which type of data. Okay, so that's that question there done. Just checking for time. I know that we should have enough. So these are going to be your homework questions anyways, but I'm just going to get you started on question 12. So it's history and geography, so it's marks that it looks like 20 students got. You need to draw a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram and compare and comment on the results in history and geography. So this is probably your most important note in the blue box. When comparing and commenting, use maths language, okay? Talk about the range, the median, the mean, or the mode. Don't have a waffly answer. Don't be like, oh, well, it shows that this, like for example here, I can see that this is a 91, okay? Whereas I can see in the geography nobody got more than, it looks like 80s, 85. Like a waffly answer might be that, oh, it looks like the students in history did better because there's a 91, whereas the students in geography didn't get 90. That doesn't mean anything, because if you actually look at the range as well, that's going to tell you a huge amount, because you've got 91 here and your smallest number is 25. That's a huge range. That's 76. No, 66. Whereas like in geography, the highest was 85 and the lowest it looks like was 36, which is almost just, it's 49. So although there's a student that's doing really well in history, there's a lot of students that aren't doing so well. So whereas geography, it's more consistent. So one thing to say is maybe the history teacher isn't as good as the geography teacher, because nearly everybody's passing in geography except for one, but there's 2-3 people failing in history. So yeah, try to use your median, your mode, or your range. So that will give you more info. So when you're starting it off, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so what you're going to have is, I'll just do it in blue, is you're going to have your history on your left and your geography on your right. So this is just to help you start it off. I'm not going to finish it all for you. The lowest scores seem to be in their 20s, so you can skip the 10. So you can start on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you'll have your stems down there, and then you'll start filling in. So for example, with history, you see that the lowest score is 25, and then there's a 27. So you're going to have a 5 and a 7. And then the next is your 30s, and there's 130. So like that's where it gets interesting, in that with geography you actually don't fill anything in the 20s and you'll only fill one in here. and then try to find the median and the range and try to talk about those two. So I've just started it off. I'm pretty sure you guys can finish that. Next up then is just another question where this is a regular stem and leaf, so it's just a normal one. You don't have to do a back-to-back. And then it says to compare. So this is the male life expectancy in South African countries. This is the female life expectancy. So it just says to compare. So again, find the median of both of them, find the range. What can you find? Are they more consistent? Are men expected to live longer than women, or women expected to live longer than men? Okay, that will be, if your median is greater for the men, then it's expected that they'll live longer than the women. That's the type of information that you're looking for. And the last one, so I'm not going to go through the first two, but maybe the last two I'm just going to touch on very quickly here. Where's my pen gone? So let's just I'll do the third one. So if you don't want any help, you can just not watch the end and try to figure it out yourself, or you can come back to video to figure out these little parts because they're a little bit tricky. So it says that Jack's mark, the range is 31, and it says we want to find x, which is here. So the range is the biggest number, take away the smallest number. So it's 43, take away x is equal to 31. So we want to find out what this x is. So 43 take away what gives you 31? Well, 43 take away 12 gives you 31. So my x is going to be 12. But just be careful, it's not going to be a whole 12. It means that this is no longer an x, but it's 2. So just be a little bit careful there. X is 2, it's also 12, if we're figuring it out like this. Okay? It's 2 there, but the whole number is going to be 12. And then for the fifth one then, you're going to find the median. So it tells you that it's 34. So again, we're going to do the same thing. So I cross out my first one, my last one, my second last, my third last, my fourth last, and I'm left with 2 numbers in the middle this time. So when we're finding the median, it's usually the one number plus the other number, which in this case is y, divided by 2, and this is going to give me 34. So there's a few ways to go about it, okay? One is to use algebra, or you could think 32 plus what number divided by 2. You could also think, well, I'll go through it the algebraic way. So we want to get rid of this 2, so we need to multiply by 2. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other side, okay? When I multiply 2 on the left-hand side, this 2 and this 2 cancel out. So then on my left-hand side, I'm left with 32 plus y equals 34 by 2 gives me 68. So 32 plus another number gives me 68. Y is equal to 36. Okay, so that's one way. You could do it intuitively, okay? There's plenty of ways. You're well able to figure out that, okay? I just wanted to go through those two because they're a little bit tough. The first two should be fine, okay? So that's going to be your homework. It's just 12, 9, and 10. Thanks a lot, guys. On Thursday, there'll be a revision video. Wednesday, obviously, the lesson will be a live Q&A. If you're feeling comfortable with it, you don't have to come. And yeah, any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, goodbye.